Welcome to Disturbing Curiosity, where we explore the most fascinating and unsettling stories in history. And today we're embarking on a journey through the life of one of the greatest conquerors the world has ever known. A man who defied the odds, shattered empires, and left a legacy that still shapes our world today. His name is Alexander the Great, and this is his story. Alexander the Great was born in 356 BC, the 20th of July, in Pella, Macedonia. His father was Philip II, and his mother was Olympias, the daughter of King Neoptolemus of Epirus. Alexander was taught by Aristotle from ages 13 to 16 and developed an interest in philosophy, medicine, and scientific investigation. Alexander's early interests and passions included philosophy, medicine, and scientific investigation, which were encouraged by his teacher, Aristotle. Alexander the Great is one of history's most legendary conquerors, but have you ever wondered how many campaigns he actually ran? Let's explore the timeline of Alexander's military expeditions. Campaign 1. Balkan Campaign, 335 BCE. Alexander's first campaign. Alexander's army marched northwards from Macedonia to the Danube River. They encountered the Getae tribe, who lived in modern-day Romania and Bulgaria. Alexander's army used makeshift rafts to cross the river, catching the Getae off guard. The Getae retreated, and Alexander's army pursued them, winning a decisive victory. Campaign 2. Siege of Pelium, 335 BCE. The Siege of Pelium was a military campaign led by Alexander the Great. Alexander's army surrounded the strategic pass of Pelium in Illyria, modern-day Albania. The Illyrian king Clitus had rebelled against Alexander's rule and was using Pelium as a stronghold. Alexander's troops used siege engines, such as catapults and battering rams, to breach the walls. The Illyrians resisted fiercely, launching counterattacks and using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. Alexander adapted his tactics to the terrain, deploying his troops in a way that neutralized the Illyrians' advantages. After intense battle, the Illyrians were defeated, and Pelium fell to Alexander's army. Clitus was killed in the fighting, and Alexander's troops took control of the strategic pass. The siege of Pelium secured Alexander's control over Illyria and opened the way for his future conquests in Persia. Campaign 3. Battle of Thebes, 335 BCE. Alexander defeated the Thebans in Greece, solidifying his control over the region. In 335 BCE, Alexander the Great conquered Thebes as part of his Balkan campaign. Thebes rebelled against Alexander's rule and was defeated. The city was destroyed, and its people were sold into slavery. The event occurred shortly after Alexander's father, Philip II of Macedon, died. The destruction of Thebes served as a warning to other Greek city-states not to rebel against Alexander's rule. 30,000 Thebans were sold into slavery, and 6,000 were killed. Only the temples, the Cadme Citadel, and the house of Pindar, a famous Greek poet, were spared. Campaign 4. Battle of Granicus, 334 BCE. Alexander defeated the Persians in modern-day Turkey, marking the beginning of his Asian campaign. The Battle of Granicus was the first major battle between Alexander the Great and the Persian Achaemenid Empire. Alexander's father, Philip II of Macedon, had been preparing for war with Persia, but was assassinated in 336 BC. Alexander succeeded his father and began his campaign against Persia, landing in Asia Minor in 334 BC. The Persian satraps, governors, assembled their forces along the Granicus River, waiting for Alexander's attack. Alexander's army crossed the river and formed up in battle order, despite concerns about the difficulty of the terrain. The Macedonian cavalry charged the Persian lines, but were initially repelled. Alexander led a second charge, which broke through the Persian lines and secured a Macedonian victory. The Persian army retreated, leaving Alexander in control of the region. The battle marked the beginning of Alexander's conquest of the Persian Empire. The victory at Granicus secured Alexander's reputation as a brilliant military commander. Campaign 5, Siege of Miletus, 334 BCE. Alexander the Great captured Miletus in 334 BC. Miletus is located in the Aydin province of modern-day Turkey. It was Alexander's first siege and naval encounter with the Achaemenid Empire. Philotas, the son of Parmenion, prevented the Persian navy from finding safe anchorage. Memnon and his command staff managed to escape the siege unharmed. Alexander granted amnesty to the remaining Milesians and welcomed 300 of Memnon's Greek mercenaries into his own ranks. Campaign 6, Battle of Issus, 333 BCE. Alexander the Great defeated Darius III in the Battle of Issus on November 5, 333 BC. Alexander's army may have consisted of about 24,000 heavy infantry and 13,000 light infantry, adding up to a total of 40,000 soldiers. Darius's army was estimated to have had around 100,000 soldiers. The battle took place in southern Anatolia, close to the present-day Turkish town of Iskenderun. The Persian army was defeated, and they abandoned their positions and fled in full rout. The Hellenic cavalry pursued the fleeing Persians, causing significant carnage after the battle. The Battle of Issus was a decisive Hellenic victory, and it marked the beginning of the end of Persian power. Campaign 7, Siege of Tyre, 332 BCE. Alexander captured the island city of Tyre in modern-day Lebanon. Alexander the Great's forces finally captured Tyre after a 7-month siege. The Macedonians constructed a massive causeway to reach the island city. The Tyrians used catapults and modified ships filled with flammable materials to disrupt the progress of Alexander's army. The aftermath of the siege was brutal, with Alexander ordering the crucifixion of 2,000 Tyrian men. The women and children were enslaved, securing Alexander's control over the eastern Mediterranean. The event allowed him to continue his campaign against the Persian Empire with a secured flank. This was the most challenging of the 20 sieges Alexander's forces faced, demonstrating Macedonian military skill at its best. Campaign 8, Battle of Gaugamela, 331 BCE. Alexander defeated the Persians in modern-day Iraq, solidifying his control over Babylon. Alexander the Great and King Darius III of Persia faced off in the Battle of Gaugamela, also known as the Battle of Arbela, on October 1, 331 BCE. After Alexander's victory, he became the king of all Asia. Alexander's forces numbered around 40,000 soldiers, while estimates of Darius's army vary between 50,000 and 1,000,000 soldiers. Darius had carefully chosen Gaugamela for the battle, bringing in men from all over the empire, including Indian mercenaries. Alexander overslept on the day of the battle, and Darius's men had been awake all night, fearing a night attack. As the battle began, Alexander and his companions moved to the right at an angle, and the Persians moved to their left, attempting to outflank Alexander. The Persians created an opening or gap as they moved further to their left, and Alexander formed his men into a wedge and moved quickly to the left, charging Darius. Darius realized the battle was lost and fled, and the Persians quickly followed. Estimates of casualties vary, with Alexander claiming 500 killed and 5,000 wounded on his side and 40,000 dead on the Persian side. Campaign 9. Indian Campaign. Alexander invaded modern-day Pakistan and India, battling the Aspasioi, Gurayans, and Asakanoi. Alexander's Indian campaign began in 327 BC and lasted until 325 BC. Alexander expanded the Macedonian Empire to include present-day Punjab and Sindh in what is modern-day Pakistan. Alexander defeated Porus and the Pauravas during the Battle of the Hydaspes in 326 BC. The battle was possibly the Macedonians' most costly battle. Alexander's troops mutinied at the Hephaestus River, refusing to advance to the east. Alexander turned southward and conquered more tribes along the lower areas of the Indus River before turning westward to reach Macedon. The surviving contemporary account of Alexander's Indian campaign is a report of the voyage of the naval commander Nearchus. Alexander the Great ran 9 major campaigns in his lifetime, expanding his empire and leaving a lasting legacy. Alexander the Great once said, "I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion." Thanks for watching Disturbing Curiosity.